had
Okay.
a brother.
So, here's what I wondered if you could tell me. When your dad left your house
Yeah.
and didn't come back, was your mom working at the time?
No. She was flat on her back in a cast. And I remember the cast that was from her shoulder to her hip. And it had a little door. And she always said that was the door so that she could take us in her heart. That's, I remember that. But it wasn't, I don't think.
So,
Just a little door in the cast. He just took off. I'm not mad at him. I mean, he could take a trip if he wants, but he should have said, I'm leaving. Should have told which of us he didn't like because we spent our whole life. Daddy left because of you, Daddy left because of me, Daddy left because of everybody. And he just left. It was the Depression, you know. People didn't have jobs, didn't know what to do. My mother said he probably thought we would be better off on welfare, but don't ever go on welfare. Let me tell you that. It's an ugly thing. And then you have to have friendly visitors. Not friendly at all. They're nosy people who want to tell you how to run your life. Do you know, I had a raincoat once, and I was so excited because it was a trench coat. And everybody signed your trench coat. It was a sign of popularity. And I came home one day, and I think her name was Mrs. Schwab, was screaming at my mother, how could you let her ruin a raincoat that we bought her? And she didn't buy it from me. Whoever bought it from me was not for her. Anyway, so I told Daddy, if we get married, don't ever let me go on welfare. Just slit my throat from ear to ear before we go on welfare. And I don't think we ever did, but I don't remember, but I know we both worked, so I don't know how we could have gone on welfare.
so after your dad left, that's when you guys went on welfare?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then you and your brother started working too?
My brother started, he was 9 years old. He worked for the Urstitsky. Urisditsky. Urstitsky. They had a daughter named Shalamas.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. Shalamas. And she married a rabbi. I don't remember his name.
Don't care about him.
Okay, because I don't remember his name. But she was not a good housekeeper. If you ever walked in her house, there were diapers everywhere. Couldn't sit on the floor. Couldn't sit on the table. Couldn't sit in the chair. Couldn't sit on the chandelier.
So, when you met Dad,
Yeah, he was cute. He was hot looking, really. Really was smoking hot.
so tell me about like your courtship. Like, how long were you together? And then when you got married, were the expectations that you would work or that he would work, or and also, since your dad left your family, well, there's too many questions at once. Let me start with this. Since your dad had left your family when you were so young, how did you form your ideas about like what a good marriage or a good relationship would be?
Maybe I never did. I just thought if you love somebody, you stay with them. Through thick or through thin, but that could be just one of those phrases you throw around. But you know when you love somebody, I think. Your heart goes. Daddy. He was so cute. His brother was cuter. Well, not cuter. He had curly hair, but he was younger, and I don't marry young men, because that's the style. You do things according to style. Oh, not style. It's so stupid. But see, I like Daddy a lot. He was probably the nicest guy I ever met my whole life.
And what made him nice?
He was good. He never hurt anybody. He was sexy. I can't tell you about that. It's a secret. My brother said I should have married a garbage man, but I didn't like any garbage men. Didn't even know any, and I know they were very rich. And I knew Walter was not rich, but I didn't care. He was the man for me. And I had 3 children.
Okay, not to the children yet. How long did you guys date, and what did you do while you, like, what was a typical date? And especially if you guys didn't have money, like, was he able to do things like bring flowers or chocolates? Because I know that he doesn't really do that kind of thing now, but I wonder if he did when he was young. So, like, what was dating time like?
We went on a lot of trips. We went to Mount Tamalpais. We went and I think we used to play canasta, but he didn't like to play cards, so I don't know how we could play canasta. But I think he said he would do anything for me, and he did. Then, now's another story. Now he's always mad at me. Drink water, drink water, drink water, so it comes out of your ears. And then he says he thinks I tell people how he's choking me, but he's not. I mean drowning me. And I know he's not. I just feel drowned. That's, you can't help how you feel when you drink a lot of water.
Okay, but when you were dating,
Yeah.
how long did you date before you decided to get married? Or was it because you were pregnant?
No. I think I was 15 when I met him. And I think I met him at Beitar. And I think I was 19 when I got married. And then I had my first child when I was 20. In June. And his name was Stephen Meyer Gaywing, and he changed it to Shimon. And I wasn't sure why. But then you wanted to change your name. You didn't like Ruth Yvonne. And Daddy didn't know how to spell Yvonne. Ivani. Oh, we had another child in between. Martin. He was such a pretty child. He used to run around the house chasing you with mustard. And
So-
then you got so mad.
So when you met Dad,
Yeah?
did he tell you all about what brought him to the States, his whole story? Like, you knew all that?
I know he was in China. I know no country in the world wanted him because he was Jewish. That's a crummy thing. It's a rotten thing. And if his father, I didn't always like his father, but he was smart because he got him out of Austria before the Germans marched through. And I know Walter smoked a cigarette once, and his father got so mad at him. And I know he and his brothers put on helmet and said, Heil Hitler. And they got in so much trouble. But they were little boys playing soldiers. What did they know? Hitler was a bad thing, probably for the whole world. I know he killed gypsies. But he did not like the Jews and he blamed everything on them. And you know, it's like you have to have a scapegoat. It was the same with the blacks. I had a black friend and he said, don't worry, when they get through chasing me, or he says, no, I don't worry till they're through chasing the Jews, then they come after me. So we were on a very low totem pole, probably on the bottom of the earth. And you know what? I always wanted to be Jewish and I love being Jewish, but it's my religion and it's a personal thing. It has nothing to do with the rest of the world. Just do unto others. I think Martin Buber said he could tell you the whole Torah standing on one foot. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's a good idea. You were so smart when you were little. Do you know what you said once? I don't know if there was an earthquake in LA or if somebody got shot. Many of the good Kennedys just got shot. But anyway, you were crying and crying and crying sitting on the sofa. And I said, what's the matter? And you said something was happening in LA. We were watching the news. I said, but honey, that's in Los Angeles. And you know what you said? You said, but mommy, doesn't LA hug on to the rest of the world? You were the cutest baby. Oh my God. You didn't like me because Opie said he would get mad at us if we didn't let Susie take you out because Susie liked you. You had a little green coat and a little green bonnet. And I used to cry because I wanted you at home. You don't know how badly. I think I blame Daddy for that. Nobody should take a child away from their mother. And then you always said, I want to go to Susie, and I didn't know that she threatened you. Or something like that if you didn't say you wanted to be with her. And I thought, well, if you really like her and she gives you so much more than I can give you, what am I going to do? That's why I went to school or to work or something. Because I didn't have you. You were, it's funny, I think you were my last baby, but it feels like you were my first baby. You were so cute. We were on a house with funny wallpaper, but you used to walk on the bed between us. What a cute baby. What a cute baby. And then you had Jordan, the love of my life. David was sweet, but it was such a heartache. Aunt Margarita always said she liked us, and then she went to court and said I threw books at David's head to make him smart. How would anybody do that? Or because I hated him or hated her. I try not to hate her, but she made our life miserable, and she made Martin frankly paranoid. He says no, but I think so. But he met, oh, what's her name? I will remember it because I can't forget her. With long braid. What's her name?
Cheryl?
Yeah. Cheryl was very good for Martin. They were good for each other. Her name was Cheryl Bratt. Bradt. And her mother was a missionary in India.
So, what about your marriage to Daddy?
What about him?
I don't know, just how would you describe your marriage over the years?
It was good. It was very good.
And what made it good?
He married me instead of Sheila. Also, things you can't talk about, like sex, are very good. They're very important in a marriage. If you don't have it, it must be terrible. Yeah, frankly, I would put good sex as number one, but that sounds terrible. He's also a very good person. He also said, of course I blamed him for it later, but he said, when we get married, your mother can live with us. And so you know what I did? I said, what kind of a man are you? You made me live with my mother. And that hurt his feelings, and he cried. Walter doesn't cry very much, but he cried a couple of times. I think once when Stephen got polio. Stephen got polio. He was such a baby, but he was so cute. Oh, Bruce, he was like a little poster boy. So cute. He really was a cute boy. Till he grew a mustache. Oh my God.
When he was a baby?
No. I think he must have been 13 years old. And he put on a white shirt and he went like this. Huanga! And he marched. And he marched and he marched and he went to every freedom march. And we went with him because we didn't want him to be alone. So then everybody got mad at us and called us, what's his name? Max Scherer said, I always knew you were a little pink. I think that was a communist. It wasn't a communist because my mother came from Russia. But I don't know if she liked the communists. I know she didn't like the Bolsheviks. There were the Bolsheviks and the Mensheviks. I didn't know who either one of them was. But they were important people. One was against the other. Why do people always have to go to war? To be one up on each other? Could have peace. A lot of people wanted peace. Pete Seeger wanted peace. And people marched together and sang, we shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday.
Do you remember what you and Daddy did with the dogs?
Oh, poor doggy. He was like 19 years old. I thought he was King Lear.
No.
Yeah.
When you guys marched with the dogs.
Oh, yeah, me and Annie Gershonoff. She had a black dog. I had a... No, I guess I had a black dog.
No, you didn't. You had a white dog named George.
Yeah, I had a white dog. He had a black dog. And we said, he can live here. And the other one said he can't. And we marched all up and down Saramonte. They didn't like us. The Gellert brothers, that's who they were. And the Human Rights Commission gave us a big blue book, which we don't have anymore. What would you do with big blue book on civil rights? And they thanked us. Gellerts didn't thank us for sure. But they had to integrate. So, but that was the only thing we ever did to integrate people. Not enough. I'd do more than that.
Do you remember going to the strike at City College against the Vietnam War?
Oh yeah, we used to go to flagpole and fast And I always wondered it wasn't a fast because in Jewish religion you fast 24 hours and you don't drink water. And here you could drink water and people drank tea. And I said, why are you doing that? But somebody's, is this fast not good enough for you? And I don't know. I think it was a religious thing. Oh, I remember Sandy. She did not like Jews. She said she did because Brown Miller liked me, but she did not. Do you remember Brown Miller?
Yeah.
Oh, how do you know him? He came to our house for dinner many times.
Yes, that's how I know him. We spent a lot of time with the Millers.
You did?
Yep.
No, there were two Millers.
No,
One was a chiropractor.
that's not the one we spent time with. We spent time with Brown and Sandy Miller and Brown's 4 girls from another marriage.
That's right.
And little Brown
Yeah,
that he had with Sandy.
yeah. He was kind of a pest. I think he was smart. I think he drew pictures of mountains. I think I have a picture of his mountain. What happened to Jenny? Jenny!
Mom, she's taking out the trash.
Oh.
Or something.
Oh, I like Jenny. She's my favorite of all of them, but don't tell anybody.
So what do you think about the president right now?
What?
What do you think about the president?
Trump? Oh, why did you spoil my day? Trump the dump. I don't like him, Ruth. I really don't like him. He's a bad, evil man with orange hair. It's not his hair. He could have whatever color he wants. But he's really bad. I don't know how Melania can be married to him. Is that her name, Melania?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand it, Ruth. Why did they let him get away with it? Because they can. Will he be out soon, I hope?
I don't know.
Well, can't you do something?
I wish I could do something.
Me too. Could we go march?
There isn't a march today.
No. Well, good people should march.
Good people do
I don't
march.
know where you could march to, but you should do more than march. You should march right up to the Capitol and put him in jail. Could you impeach him? I want to impeach him.
Well, now all of his supporters really like him because of that guy they put in the Supreme Court now.
Oh, the one that's supposed to be Kavanaugh?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. I don't think he's good, Ruth. I know he's no good because I believe the lady, the doctor. What did she have to win by telling the world she got raped by that asshole? Nothing. I don't want to talk about that. That's so depressing. I think I'm like 86 or maybe even 87 years old, and we never, in my whole life, had a president like him. Ever, ever, ever. I know Clinton got blamed for a lot of things, but he had soft hands and a good heart. And, well, I really did believe him. He and Hillary used to go out and teach little black children how to read. You can't take that away from them.
Do you know that somebody sent them and CNN News and George Soros and President Obama received bombs today?
No. Oh, please don't tell me that.
Well, the
Honest to-
Secret Service found them. I mean, nobody got hurt.
Oh my God. Was it Trump?
Well, I'm sure it was a Trump supporter.
Oh,
Because you know how he talks about the journalists and things?
what?
You know, he talks bad about journalism, I mean, the media.
Oh, he says fake news. He's fake news. He's a bad man, Ruth.
I know.
Please don't ever. You know, sometimes you can't help it. You make a little mistake, but don't ever make a voting mistake. Look into it. And, well, trouble is, I won't always be around, and I can't write down who's gonna win or lose because I don't know them when I'm dead. But you can't have the people you have now. That's really bad. They're the worst.
You gotta tell all your old folk friends who work here, I mean, who live here, who like him. That's what you can do instead of marching. You go tell them all not to vote for him again.
I think I did. The only person I didn't tell was Peg because she's so old.
You think the people here are voting? Most of them or no?
I hope so because, you know, we have some very good supporters. We have Pat and we have Barbara and we have Cleve. And they are very good to get people out to vote. And I know they don't mess with them, but they make sure that they're the right people to vote. And the other people, they say, stand in line, we'll get to you. But they don't, because why would you want to take somebody in the polls to vote for Trump? I wouldn't. No, there's some things you have to do that you think are wrong, but they're really right in the end. And Trump is a no-go from the start. If you lie in the service of truth, I made that up. That's not real. I don't think it could happen. But it's okay in my book if you're a decent person and you don't want other people to be restricted. You have to let people live, for God's sakes. Only have one life. You know, that's a trouble. I think people think you're not going to die. But, ha, 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 you get caught in the end. One way or another you go. And if you're a bad person, no, I wouldn't say that, people. People don't die according to good or bad. We wouldn't have so many good dead people. No, that's a wrong theory.